Hi, I'm Fiesel. Coming up next, we've got the Disney block right after Donkey Kong Country 3. I've got 3 of the Disney block runners right here with me. We've got YellowKillerBee, who's going to be running Quackshot. We've got John Carls, who's going to be running The Little Mermaid. And we've got CT Conqueror, who will be running Mickey Mousecapade. So, YellowKillerBee, this is your second run in a GDQ. You did Mickey Mania last year.
Yep.
So did you feel like you got anything out of that, learned anything that's going to help you with the run today?
Oh, definitely. I feel like last year was such a privilege to be here, and I was a fairly new speedrunner, new to the event, and I just couldn't even believe that my run had gotten in.
Right.
Like, I was just kind of overwhelmed with everything, and so grateful, but also so nervous. Like, I was extremely nervous. So I think this year, what I'm bringing to it is I know as soon as I get out there and as soon as I start playing, I just start having like so much fun, and it feels like all your nerves just go away. And so I'm just concentrating more on just having fun and having it be a fun run and talking with the couch and interacting with the host and just all of that more than having like the perfect speed run. I mean, if I PB'd, I would be okay with it, don't get me wrong, but it's more just about the fun factor and the interaction than anything else.
I see. Yeah, I got the first time jitters out of the way, so now you can just sort of relax and settle into it.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And John Carls, you're running Little Mermaid. That's probably one of the most different of all the Disney games that were made in that series. That's most different. Why choose that one in particular?
Well, I think everybody has been put on this earth for a reason, and I think it seems that the reason I've been put on the earth is to play mermaid games at this SGDQ specifically.
Wow.
So I took care of half that goal earlier this week, so I've got to finish my mission,
I see.
and so I'm looking forward to that. But in all seriousness, it was probably the first game I ever beat on the NES. It's probably the easiest game in the world, and my sisters were big into Little Mermaid, so I guess they bought the cart, and yeah, it's a fun, quick game and easy to learn.
Right. It is really fast, but it's a pretty optimized run. Like if you were trying to go for a world record, that's actually a really hard one to take, I would think.
Yeah, the problem is there's like 5 to 10 seconds of like execution optimization and about 2 minutes of RNG. So it's all really about boss RNG. So I have no pressure on me, which is nice. So I can only screw up. I can't really, I'm not going to really have to worry about execution except for the whatever RNG I encounter in each boss. So it's a very trolly game.
Right. Well, good luck with your defining moment.
Big moment.
All right. And CT Conqueror, you organized the Southern Speedrunners Summit this year?
Yes, it is.
And how do you feel that was a small venue speedrun event?
Yeah, about 20 people.
Right. How does it feel doing a run at something like this compared to that? I mean, different scale entirely.
Well, first of all, there's a lot more pressure, there's a lot more people watching.
Right.
Yeah, it's the smaller events, like the kind of little 20-person events, they're a bit more relaxed. You're not, I kind of felt, I did a run in SGDQ2015, and just kind of between the two, I felt a little just less pressure on myself, because there's like 60 people instead of 80,000.
Right.
So that's kind of the main thing. And it's a little different because you're not as concerned about the runs, just because that's more of a community-oriented event. It's instead of you're there to do some speedruns, you're there to meet some people, hang out with some cool speedrunners, and then also play some games on the stream. So that's probably the main difference, I'd say.
Okay. Nervous about the run?
A little bit. Kind of like what YellowKillerBee said is the little Samson one, I was a big bundle of nerves, especially once I saw all the lights and the cameras.
Yeah.
And this one is yet to be seen, but I feel a little less nervous this time around.
Right. Okay. Not your first game at a GDQ,
Exactly,
so
yeah,
that helps a lot. Okay. Any of you guys play other Disney games? There's a lot of great speedrunnable Disney
YellowKillerBee
games.
does.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah, Mickey
Right, well,
Mania.
of course, Mickey Mania, which I played last year. I'd like to learn some more for speedrunning, but I actually play a lot of Disney games casually, too. Like, I played Aladdin twice in the last year, all the way through, and that's a great game. I played through The Lion King, and there's just a lot of really nice, fairly short Disney games that are great for a beginning speedrunner, especially because they're fairly straightforward. There's no routing, there's no mapping, you just kind of go beginning to end. And yeah, so I enjoy a lot of Disney games outside of speedrunning.
Yeah. It's just they tend to be pretty solid speedrun games. All the Disney games just turned out that way for whatever reason. So
Yeah, I wasn't aware Little Mermaid was a Disney game until recently. I thought it was an actual true story, so it's a pretty big reveal. So I'm probably going to dive into that whole Disney library and see what else there is out there.
okay. Speaking of Little Mermaid, apparently we have a donation incentive that hasn't been met for that. Why don't you tell us about that?
So if I get, I guess we get $5,000. I think we're at like 2,800. I will sing "Part of Your World" with guitar accompaniment after my run. So it's as the kids say, it'll be a hoot and a half.
A hoot and a half.
So, yeah.
Well, that needs some help. If that's going to get met, it needs some help. If you want to see John Carls in his defining moment sing "A Part of Your World,"
Yeah, then I'm
get the
done. I
donations
don't need
in.
to do anything else.
Yes,
That's my life.
please meet that.
Go ahead
I need
and
that in my
donate.
life.
Yes.
Yes.
I personally would like to see this happen.
Yes.
Cool. Well, speaking of donations, we have a bunch of prizes that are coming up during the Disney block. I have here 2 copies of DuckTales Remastered, but there's a lot more than this. There's a ton of stuff. Check GamesDoneQuick.com website, check the tracker, and you can see all the prizes that we're going to have if you get your donations in during the Disney block. But it looks like the DKC 3 guys are almost ready up there, so we're going to throw it over to them in a moment. But,
Go Blum Bunny.
Go Blum Bunny.
All right. Well, thank you guys for the interview, and good luck with your runs.
Thank you.
All right, guys, welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2016, sponsored by Twitch. We are getting Donkey Kong Country 3 ready to go right now. I'm excited about that. There's nothing like some DKC. And Disney's Little Mermaid is coming up very quickly in just about 2 hours, I think. So if you want to see John Carls singing Part of Your World, and you do want to see John Carls singing Part of Your World, we need to get a lot of...
Over 20 years ago. I think it will be a shame if we didn't get an Ultimate Doom run, so here's towards that. We've still got a long way to go. Let's make it happen. Also, huge thanks to the runners and organizers for making SGDQ happen. Great event for a great cause. Thank you, Alex. Let's get an update on Doom, in fact. Let's find that here. All right, we are currently sitting at $10,733.08 out of $25,000. I have faith that we can make this. Let's put a push on getting us more Doom. All right, let's get into some more of this. I have Mr. Popo donating $49.99. Damn you, decimal point. Why is Doom not funded yet? Good question. Why is it not funded yet? I have Atomic Barbecue donates $12.34 and says, Ultimate Doom was my favorite game growing up, and it scared me so much as a kid. Come on, guys. If we all donate now, we can make this bonus run happen. Metroid Master donates $5 and says, this is for the Ultimate Doom of the animals. Not even sorry. Random McGee donates $50 and says, let's get that Ultimate Doom goal. Everybody climb aboard the Doom train. Doom. AZHP donates $10 and says, if everybody in chat donated just a little bit, Final Doom would be met instantly. Come on, guys. Let's get us some Doom. Wake donates $50 and says, here's another $50 towards raining some Doom down on our doomed enemies, which are, let's be honest, likely the animals. Doom is good donates $50 and says, time to get knee-deep in Doom. $25 from Shark Zuka, donating because the announcer told me, let's get Ultimate Doom here happening. Doom hype. So do you guys out there want to see Doom? Doom? All right. We have the Kuros Kai, who donates $25 and says, second donation of the week. While I'm all about the killing the animals, I'll let the next runner make the choice. So I think we need to get YellowKillerBee's runner's choice. We have $50 from Anonymous that says, I will give you $50 to take away my guilt, also Doom. And we have $50 from an anonymous donation that says, Doom, 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 Doom. Anonymous $50 donation that says, I love these events. I've been watching Speedrun since I learned about them in 2013. I am finally catching my first live GDQ event, and last year I caught SGDQ2016. I've donated before, but I've never had it read on stream. I wish I could donate more to make sure we get the bonus Doom run, but I'm just a poor college student and can't afford any more. Good luck to the runners. Let's all pitch in and break $1 million again. Do not apologize for donating a small amount. You've donated $50. Any amount is welcomed. It all goes to the good cause. But you don't have to donate. If you're one of the people out there that's watching us that can't afford to donate, or you've already donated your limit for this marathon, get out there on social media, use the hashtag SGDQ2016, talk about us, link the stream, let people know what runs are coming up. Get out to those Doom players you see on Twitch and tweet at them and get them to come and see us, whatever. Just if you can get the eyes on the stream, that's just as good as a donation, because one of those people you bring in might be able to donate. So don't worry too much about that. $20 from Runner55 says, Old school Doom is awesome. SGDQ is awesome. Let's bring on the awesome. Are we awesome? No? Well, one person in here is awesome. Are we awesome? There are a lot of people in this room that don't want to be awesome. What is wrong with you? I'll ask this again. Are we awesome? And what do we want to see?
Hi everyone, I'm YellowKillerBee, and today I'm going to be playing Quackshot for Genesis. And if we want to do a quick roll call of the couch, that'd be great, starting over here.
Hi, I'm Jason Brown. I'm YKB's brother.
Hi, I'm BBQ Sauce. I'm not her brother.
I'm GBM. I'm not her brother, but I'm married to her, which is probably good that I'm not her brother.
And this over here is Infinite Mystery, since he doesn't have a mic. So this is Quackshot. It was produced by Sega and came out in 1991. So we're going to get started here. I'll let you know when I'm ready for the countdown.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. We just have to quickly change the controls, because the controls they start you off with are not the best. Here, just a second, actually. My Genesis is broken and doesn't have a reset button, so I'm not used to it actually saving the controls when I restart it. So, there we go. There we go, that should be right. Okay, I'm ready?
You ready?
Yeah.
You guys out there ready? Woo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Woo! Go, go, go.
All right. So there was a story, but we skipped it, as is pretty usual in in games that are speedrun in general. So what you'll notice here is a lot of this game is about movement mechanics. And Donald is a duck who cannot fly. He cannot swim, but he can slide. Man, can he slide. Like, he has the most slippery feathers of any duck that I've ever seen. So a lot of the movement is just sliding, and the sliding works best on any flat surface, so we're going to take advantage of that. Any flat surface that we're on, we're going to try to do the maximum amount of sliding. And then the other thing is, Donald actually gets several different weapons during this game. but the main one is the plunger, and it doesn't actually kill anything yet, or really ever. It doesn't kill anything, let's be honest. It's a plunger, but it does stun things, which allows you to go through enemies, which is very important because you don't want to stop. The other thing is that you want to be moving anytime that you're plungering, which is not a usual rule that you want to use, but in this case, yes, you do want to stand still because you want to be moving because if you stand still and shoot the plunger, it actually wastes a couple seconds. So that's the basic mechanics. The other cool thing about this game is you'll see him plant a little flag here, and then he gets back on the plane. Unlike a lot of other Disney games where it's just very straightforward, you actually get to hop from location to location. And so we're going to be kind of doing a little back and forth. It's almost kind of Metroidvania in the way that you're like getting new items which unlock new areas, and you're going back to old areas to get new places. So this mechanic here is called temper. I got 5 peppers, and now I'm going really fast because Donald is notorious for his temper.
It's very fast.
Yes. Yes. Eating peppers makes him angry. He does it anyway. So now, as I said, we're going back to Mexico, and we're going to be a little bit antisocial here. We're supposed to talk to that lady, but we're going to skip over the dialogue box by doing a little fancy jumping. Donald is actually really antisocial in this game. There's 3 different people that he skips talking to just to save a little bit of time. And this level is the pyramid level. It is actually one of the most technical levels in the game, cause for most early resets. And most of that is because these blocks that are going up and down here, because if you hit them at the wrong time, they really cause a lot of time wasted because then they're stuck in the wrong position. So we're going to try to do kind of a fancy maneuver here. It might be a little tricky. Okay, we got it. Had a little menuing issue there, but we did it. So yeah, this game has more menuing than any game I've ever played, which isn't really saying that much because I've never done an RPG or anything like that. But after playing this game, I'm just not sure I ever would play an RPG considering how much trouble I have with the little menuing in this game. But you'll see, especially in a later level, just switching back and forth between items like several times. They thought that would be a really good idea.
So how much of this game is like remembering where all the enemies are and shooting them before they even get on the screen?
A lot of it. I mean, it's largely a movement-based game, I have to say. And so the movement is pretty technical just because the combination of the sliding, and then there's actually a dash button, and there's these ladders which don't want to let you climb them. I often compare the ladders in this game to like the doors in Super Mario World because they just don't want to let you use them.
You gotta be right on.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be standing perfectly still and right on them. And so yeah, the TAS actually uses like a combination of the dash and the slide, and it presses multiple buttons on the D-pad at once. So it's not possible in RTA, but it's a really interesting watch if anybody is interested in this game. Like the TAS is pretty crazy. So now we're going to go back to Duckburg. Basically what happened there is we went to the pyramid. We found Goofy, who was hanging out in the pyramid for no reason at all. He gave us a note, and he upgraded our plungers so that they can now stick to walls. So that allows us to go a little bit farther here. And that's kind of the theme of this game. You're getting upgrades to your plungers, getting them to do more things, getting new locations. And a lot of times the people that you meet, like Goofy, are like, why are you in this pyramid? It's just hanging out, just waiting for someone to come.
Don't try this at home.
No. I wouldn't recommend this way of traveling, but if you're Gyro, who we're going to go to meet, apparently you live off on a rooftop in the middle of nowhere.
It seems like Donald will be able to fly over this section if he just take off that jacket.
Yeah. Donald's very fashionable, so...
Also, when your life gets low, how do you get that back up?
Well, you might see that a little bit later, and it might shock you. So just hold your breath.
Be prepared to be shocked.
Be prepared.
And horrified.
And horrified by the method with which Donald refills his life. So, Yeah, this is nice. This is like a nice little chat break while he rides back over the things because you actually don't have to jump anywhere on the way back. And yeah, another thing this game loves to do is like send you all the way to the edge of a level and then be like, oh, now you just have to go all the way backwards, and this will extend the game now. Make it longer. So yeah, if you want to sneak in a couple donations, you definitely can do that.
I certainly can, but I would like first to know if he is a fashionable duck wearer his pants. I do have a $25 donation from NYMX, or Nimix, as you guys might know him. Hey B, it's Nimix. Good luck on the run. Oh, and kill the animals, because my dog is totally against anything animal that doesn't bark. Radium H, are you in the room? Yeah, stand up. That man just donated $500.
Woo!
And says that it is his first time attending and he's loved all the runs so far this week. And he would like to get one more on the schedule. And what would that run be, Radium? Doom.
All right. So we made it through Transylvania. We fought all the bats, which you should know if you have ever come to my stream that bats are my arch nemesis. And of course, there's bats in this game too. So this is like where a lot of the menuing comes in, which it's not really that difficult menuing, like especially if you compare it to like an RPG or something like that. But for me, I struggle with it. So far we've been doing pretty good. We haven't had any menuing flubs, but basically all I'm doing is switching back and forth. We saw gyro, we got the exploding bubblegum, which is the second weapon in the game, and so we're switching between the plunger and the bubblegum to like get through the level. It's a cool little trick here if I can get it. Oh, I just missed it. Okay, if you get the right angle, you can fall all the way to the bottom, which saves a little bit of time.
Is it explicitly said like what you're supposed to be doing in the story at the beginning?
You know, this game actually does have a story. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's more just like an excuse to send him all over the place, as in many games. But
I thought he was just out looking for something for his girlfriend.
That's the basic story. Yes, he's looking for something for his girlfriend. He found a map in Uncle Scrooge's library. It fell out of a book, and he's like, I'm gonna go follow this map.
If you're squeamish, don't look.
Oh, okay.
He just ate a duck.
He ate a roast duck. So roast duck is how you get your life back. He consumes their power. And, yeah, sorry about that. I tried to warn you.
That's not family friendly.
No, it's not. Okay, so these ghosts can really troll you, but we were fine. If they hit you while you're on the platform, you fall off, and then you have to wait for the platform to come back. It's a pretty long process. So yeah, we're voting ghost here. There are spooky skeletons, but we don't get to see much of them because we just kind of blow by them. So now if you're using your Disney Block bingo card, you can cross off thing that tries to crush you, because we just saw it at the edge of the screen there. That was something that was in Mickey too, and I think it's a kind of common trope, the crushing wall.
The wall that tries to crush you from the left.
And these ghosts are probably like the most RNG in the game because they are somewhat influenced by your movement, but you can get hit anywhere from 0 to 2 times there depending on where they decide to go. And we're at the boss. This is Count Duckula and his family of bats. So if you watch, it's funny, he sets out 4 bats, but only the bottom right one actually ever hits you. So I call him right bat, not to be confused with left shark. But he is the one that, he's the troll bat. And so as long as I can shoot him, then everyone else is fine. They just do nothing. They just fly around. They're very friendly.
Just wander.
Yep. Unlike some of the other bosses in the other Disney games, these bosses really don't have much RNG at all. You don't have to wait for them to throw things, which is really nice. Most of the bosses in this game, as you'll see, you just kind of end up doing cheese strats and stun locking them most of the time. Okay, so now what we got from Count Duckula is an expanded map. So we're going to be using that to travel the world some more over to this new area. All right, so we're getting our peppers again. So you'll see we're gathering these peppers. And the temper is kind of hard to control. You want to jump at very specific times. Oh, we got the jump. Oh, that's good. Okay, so that's pretty hard to do because you have to shoot at a very specific height. And then we're going to not talk to this lady, the Maharaja. All right, see you later. All right, so this is a maze. But obviously, when you're when you're a speedrunner, it's not much of a maze because you know which way to go. But my first semi-blind playthrough of this game, this area probably took me, I don't know, beating the game took me 2.5 hours, and this was probably a good half hour of it at least. Because I did play this as a kid, but I was never able to beat it, which is one of the reasons actually I picked up this game. Okay, go up in there. There you go. Okay, now we're going to fight a pudgy tiger, who is the boss. Yeah. He's adorable. Sorry, and he's dead.
It seems really dangerous.
Did you just awe a tiger?
Oh, he's pudgy.
He's cute. Apparently, he was like also
Seemed pretty
terrorizing
happy.
the palace. So now
It's a shame to have to kill him.
he gives me a Sphinx tear. And then we go to Egypt to use the Sphinx tear to open up another pyramid. So this is the last temper that we're going to see. Unfortunately, it's such a cool mechanic. I really wish that they would use it more often. Apparently, sliding in quicksand is just fine too. That's something that's possible. So we're going to get our last temper here. And one of the cool things about this temper is it lasts till the very end of the level, so you actually have to try to slow yourself down right here. I ran a little bit far, but you want to a lot of this game has to do with momentum, and you want to control your momentum as much as possible so that you're not overshooting, because a lot of the things are it will just automatically place you, when you place the flag, or when you're supposed to be talking to somebody. So you try to control your momentum so there's the least amount of wasted time. So this is, I missed it. That's all right. We'll just jump up here. So this is kind of fun because this is an intended shortcut. So you come up here, don't look, he eats another duck. And as you can see, this is the exit to the level. So you're supposed to come out this way and realize that you could have just beaten the level very quickly. So I kind of like that they snuck that in there. An intended shortcut for the level. Oh, okay. Sometimes when you're sliding, you just jump randomly because they're the same button. Down and jump is slide. Especially if you have an old second or third or fourth or fifth hand Genesis controller. But we made it. We didn't fall in the lava, which is good. All right. So this is pretty exciting, being chased by a fireball, but it's actually it never catches you. So you could read a couple donations if you want.
Yeah, I think I can handle that. We have an anonymous $100 donation that just says Doom Hype.
Doom Hype.
I have one that says, from Brooks, it says, great cause, great playing, great community, great hype.
Oh, okay. So I was trying to get fancy and slide off the edge there. Normally it works fine, but I guess I hit the wall and instead fell straight down. So you get to read another donation now.
Score. Let's see here. We have $100 from Sergeant Crispy, who says, greetings, fellow Doomers. Keep on dooming. Kill the... Hang on a minute. How do you go with us fellow Doomers and then say kill the animals? Get it right, Sergeant Crispy. We're about Doom here.
Doom. Okay,
Doom.
so here, you're supposed to take the note that Goofy gave you and do a code on the floor, but you can actually just skip the whole puzzle if you just go fast enough. You just go right up the wall and just steal the scepter, and you're like, see you later.
Also more crushing.
Yeah, another instance of the thing trying to crush you.
Yes, more crushing. This game is kind of I feel halfway based on DuckTales, halfway based on Indiana Jones. You know, hence his hence his hat. So yeah, and also not very safe. This minecart. Oh, check that off your bingo card too. Minecart ride time.
That reminds me of one of my favorite games, Kirby Superstar. They have a thing just like that.
All right.
8 ducks.
So we are off
duck.
to, because we got the scepter, so now we can go to the South Pole. And you can go to all these places first, but basically you get to the end, realize that you have a thing that you don't have the thing that you need, the item that you need, in this case the scepter. And, but it is nice, it puts down the little flag so you can at least come back to the end of the level, so it's not forcing you to redo the whole level again, which is nice.
Yeah, I remember this game being very, very confusing to me as a young child. We didn't have a Genesis, but we would borrow our friend's Genesis and then try to rent this game, and like you'd have to play all of the levels multiple times before you'd actually be able to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, it's probably why I never beat it, because it just took so long.
Is this the one with that expensive whale recording?
Yes, so you'll see that later.
Okay.
Watch out for expensive whale recordings. Okay, so this level's kind of technical. Hopefully we don't die. Right. This one probably has one of the most technical movement after that other level. And unfortunately, if you get hit there, you'll get hit there too. Try to deload these arrows, but it doesn't work if you don't go fast enough. But we should be fine.
How many of those were intentional hits and how many were accidental? I can't tell.
You can get through with like one intentional hit, and that was probably like 3, but who's counting, right?
It's interesting that sliding is fast, but not while going down a slope.
That's right.
Yeah, it's the same
Only
speed.
you'll notice I'm not sliding down slope, which might seem to be counterintuitive, but no, the sliding only works when you're on a flat surface. You can see you actually get a little boost of momentum when you walk up the slope and sometimes down the slope, depending on how your movement is. Okay, here's our third antisocial duck moment. See if we can get this skip. That's a good one because it also skips putting down the flag, which could be bad in a casual playthrough, but in this it's nice because it saves some time. Okay, so this is also kind of a puzzle, but it's just like it's hidden back here. All right, we're gonna try to cheese this boss here.
I can tell you, this is harder than it looks.
Yeah, Barbecue got his first PB in this game yesterday.
I'm in 9th place on the leaderboards now.
Nice.
Out of 9.
9 out of 9. 9th place, best place. All right, nice. We got him. All right, now he said he was going to give us the Viking Diary, which we needed for the location of the treasure, but he didn't. He was a liar. And so now he gave us, he upgraded our plungers again, so now they're green. And green means that we can use them for some animal abuse. It's like we're Mario up in here. So now they can stick to animals and it doesn't stun them. It just sticks to certain animals so you can fly. And you can notice that this bird is also wearing a very fashionable jacket, but it doesn't have any sleeves, so it doesn't really hamper the flying.
It's more like a vest.
Yeah, it's more like a nice vest with a hood, which I would recommend for Donald, but he doesn't
But then he couldn't
listen.
wear his stylish hat.
That's right. He wouldn't look as much like Indiana Jones.
The green plungers appear to be mind control as well.
Yes, it's another benefit of the plungers. Okay, so this area, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to hear it, but this area has the best sound effect in the game. It's so good. Like, okay. Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's a little known fact that, like, 75% of the budget of this game was them flying to the South Pole to record killer whales in their natural habitat, because that's a very accurate sound. And to get that, they actually had to dangle a duck off the side of the boat, because killer whales, like, their favorite food is duck. It's a little known fact.
Also, duck's favorite food is duck.
Okay, so we got a pretty good big skip coming up here. This is actually saves the most time. And I had to come up with my own setup because the old setup was too random.
It's a
So we got it there.
YellowKillerBee exclusive.
So what we're really doing here is going in the exit. We got it pretty fast. I was happy about that. So basically what I was doing there was holding down on the D-pad, and then with my other hand, I was tapping right to try to move one frame at a time. The old strat, you kind of went back and forth and tried to get in the right spot, but it's a one frame, or one pixel rather, that you have to be standing on, or else your bubbles won't hit the correct location. So that saves. I'm not entirely sure how much time that saves, but
It's pretty neat.
it's a good amount. It's like a whole level's worth of time. So in this auto scroller section, they forgot to put any birds in the middle, so you can go ahead and read another donation.
I certainly shall, because I have a rather large donation. I have a $500 donation. From Fox Die, who says, I discovered GDQ for the first time with SGDQ2016 and have been looking forward to SGDQ ever since. Glad to be able to help out a
Oh my
great
gosh.
cause.
Oh no.
Just kidding.
Phew.
You nearly made me spoil his donation there.
Sorry.
You see what she's doing to you, Fox Die? And he says, it's a great cause and an awesome display of skills. Good luck, runners, and thank you to everybody who makes this possible. Also, Doom!
All right, so this is a spot I could never get past as a kid. Pretty much straight up, I couldn't do this platforming section. So hopefully we'll be able to do it today without dying. But the speedrun is a lot of blind jumps, which is not the intended way. Oh gosh, okay, well we died, that's all right.
That's what you get for throwing up on the
Yep.
other level.
That'll happen.
All right. So there is like an early cycle that I'm trying to get here. If I can get up here in time, then if that one spreads out, then you know you got it. But you can really get trolled because you land on like the edges, and then you can be going a direction that you don't really expect very quickly.
So if you get behind, is it really hard to get back on track there?
No, you just lose time. Okay, good. We got done with that room. That's probably the hardest room, maybe in the whole game, just because of the platforming difficulty. Oh, hi, bird. Okay, so this is another little skip up here. So what we're going to do is we're supposed to go down through that maze. This is like supposed to be a troll thing where you fall into the thing or into the hole down there, but instead we're going to use it to skip the back and forth section. All right, so this is definitely the hardest boss in the game, even though it's the second to last boss, because he's just very random. You can manipulate his pattern, but sometimes he just has a mind of his own and just goes, yeah, he went the other way. That was not my favorite. Okay, we got to kill that guy. So now we're going to be in a little bit of trouble, but not hopefully too much trouble. Okay. Because I want to be on the right side of him. Instead, I'm on the left side of him. Oh, okay. I see how it is. Okay, now we're fine. We'll get him back on track.
A lot of the bosses in this game you can just stun lock, but this one actually moves during his iframes.
Yep.
So he's a lot harder.
All right. So now we're going to stand on his head a little bit.
That makes sense.
Yep.
It's extra humiliation.
Okay, we got him.
He's got a nice hat.
I only have 1 health left, so I'm going to have to do some like more safe strats from now on.
Also, get ready to check off another card on the bingo card.
When I say safe, I mean not very safe, I guess. Cause
I mean, just do what I want to do.
Right. Okay, he's coming down. That's a good thing. That was a good pattern. And in this game, you actually don't have to worry about health for the most part. Okay, we got him.
There goes
So
the
now-
white flag.
Now he gives the diary back, and then we dip it in water because that's what you should do with a book if you want to know what it does.
Mm-hmm. So I do to all my books.
All right, so, and this is another level where we actually do have to worry about health a little bit because there's actually a version difference that's very interesting. The world record holder, Tenebrae, played this on emulator, and it was a different version of the game. So it has some health that this one doesn't have, and also 1 rogue bat is missing. So I would say it's probably the far superior version of the game because it has 1 less bat. Just that in and of itself makes it a better game. But also there's a section up here where you get a free roast duck, and in this one there is no free roast duck. And so that means that health management for this is a little bit more tricky because you don't want to waste time getting the duck earlier on because it takes like an extra 3 or 4 seconds. But normally here you would be getting all sorts of goodies, but I got the unlucky version. Okay, but we're really doing pretty well on health. And by pretty well, I mean we have 1 extra to use however we like. Got a nice boo ring there. I mean, fire ring.
Ooh.
I always mix those up. All right, so we're almost to the end. We just need to do this second part really fast so we don't miss the cycle. Oh. Okay, we made it.
Nice work.
Good
All
job.
Okay. So now we're almost home free. We just have a jumping on invisible block section. Which
All Indiana Jones.
they were nice enough to space all the blocks exactly the same distance apart. So that makes it a little bit easier. And then we're at the end boss. So time is in a little bit. First, we need to stun this guy. Okay, that's perfect. You want to get the sword right underneath you. And then you basically shoot bubbles. And we use the idle animation of Donald to know when to shoot the next bubble. So it's very convenient. Like you can see him, he gets bored very easily. And his second eye placement there is when you're supposed to hit him again. And so you can basically keep the boss stun locked. And they decided the boss would be best if it had 20 million hits. It makes for a very exciting end of the game.
Since he has 20 million hits, can I make a quick announcement?
Sure, but we're about to call time, but go ahead. I'll just call it in the thing.
$350,000.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And time. So we get the statue, and he's disappointed that it's just a statue. He's like, it's just a plain stone statue. I'm so sad. And so you get this music, which I love, but apparently it's supposed to be really sad and chill.
Probably worth millions.
And then we get to the cutscene where we discover two very important things. The first one is that Daisy is not a nice person, which we already kind of knew. She's like, here's the treasure. We found it. And she's like, what? That's it? It's like, man, you have no idea what I went through to get this thing. And then Huey, Dewey, and Louie drop it and break it, and there's a necklace inside. And she's happy with that, which is wonderful. But then we also find out he can fly. Okay, I just went through that whole thing. Okay, well, that's Quackshot. Thank you so much, everybody.
So you got your final time, right? You got your final time? 27 minutes, 11 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are Summer Games Done Quick 2016, and we do want to thank one of our sponsors, Twitch TV. So thank you very much out to them. And we are heading towards Tetris Attack, and